course, I forgot to get a before or even do one glove then show you both. I did get an image of it, but these are the gloves. All I did, I just put some black paint, oil paint, in the joints. And after I did, I thought, well, this oil paint, is it going to dry on this latex? Latex is traditionally, stereotypically, not good with paint. Hopefully it will. It's kind of smeared, a little bit like thin paint all over it, to where it just kind of knocked the white down. This was so bright, so white, and it should be kind of gray. And oh, I'm getting paint on me right now from this thing. Hopefully this paint dries. Now I'm really questioning that because I'm getting paint all over me. But this is what the glove looks like. Hopefully that paint will dry. If not, I have some acrylics, maybe some watercolor work. I don't know. Latex does not work well, but just like you can see how white it is. The inside of the hand, I didn't do that. You're not really gonna see it. And it just looks a lot better grayed out. A little bit of detail to it. Black creates some shadow, some interest. Like the smears just knocking that white down, just made it old and dirty looking. So I hope this paint will dry. I'm gonna leave it for a bit, and I'm gonna hope for the best. Because if it doesn't, we gotta mess with our hands. I may already have a mess with my hands. So I'm getting paint all over me right now because it's not really drying. But I'm hoping it'll dry. And if it flakes off, who cares? It kind of adds to the effect. And I think where it's kind of smeared, that's not really coming off where it's smeared. I think it's just where it's thicker in these joints. It's not dry. So hopefully it will dry. One thing I completely forgot. I put my scythe, I was trying to put the whole thing together just trying to see what it's like. And what I realized was that originally I intended to have the head as a separate piece from the rest of it. Completely forgot that when I was assembling this. I mean, could I potentially undo the top and bottom? I could, but the shaft comes up to about right in here. I need to see if this will fit in my car as is. I'm thinking about just kind of putting the back seat, plant the blade, the rest of it, 4 feet. The cars are 4 feet, I think. I need to double check, because if I can't, if it doesn't fit in my car, I'm going to have to disassemble this some way. Because yeah, that shaft comes up to about right here. And I think I can make it, leave this top part and get it apart, but it'd be a little tricky. Because I know this part definitely is glued to some foam right around in here. It'd be, yeah, I don't want to destroy this. I think it'd fit in a car. When you make it, I don't know, I think you can figure some way to get in the car. Just didn't even think about that. Started assembling this, and it just never occurred to me that my intention was to. Oh yeah, I was gonna make that head separate. Once I started assembling, I just was focused on getting it together. I hope it works out. That is something I'm gonna check very soon because that could be a fatal flaw. Hopefully not. I think it'll work, but I gotta double check it. We have a success. This does fit in the car. It can be much bigger. We got maybe a couple inches to spare, but it fits in my car in the back seat. That is great. So I need to finish putting all of the EVA foam on the handle. I just want to be able to carve into it in the EVA foam. It makes it easier to grip. This is much more grippy. This is a lot slicker, and with as big as this is and potentially awkward since it's 8 feet tall, I want a little extra grip, and I want to do a lot of kind of work, kind of make it look like tree bark, basically, for lack of a better term. But I'm going to put this aside. No good reason on that. I don't want to work on it right now. And I'm going to go back to my goat hooves. I was working on those yesterday, trying to draw out some templates, figure out how does that work with these stilts, because I need something that's removable, that's not permanently attached to the stilts, because I'm only going to wear these goat feet, well, I'm only planning on wearing it this one time. I guess if you have goat feet, maybe you're tempted to wear them more often and create occasions where you need goat feet, so that's certainly a possibility. Right now, just planning to wear them the one time. I'm sure it'll be more. But I'm looking for a way to, somehow these goat feet and the fur, the fur, maybe it just ties to the stilts. The hoof part, maybe it kind of clips on in the foam. There's some bolts there, so I can maybe clip around that. I've got some templates. I'm going to work on that and see if I can get that figured out. Because I just, I'm walking around my yard with stilts that have goat feet and an 8 foot tall scythe. I mean, that's just pretty cool. Neighbors love that stuff. So I'm gonna work on the goat feet. I want to see where that goes. I didn't quite get a handle on it. I got some ideas, got some sketches, and I want to get it going, man. I want to make goat feet a reality. Working on the hooves. So basically, what I've got. This is a piece of that's kind of clip. There are bolts on each side on the stilt. It's going to kind of clip over. I think I'll still need some kind of elastic or something to wrap around the back, just kind of tie it on there, because this wants to fly open. It doesn't want to stay closed tight, because it's foam. Of course it doesn't. And then from there, this is going to be my hoof. So the bottom of the stilt curves up. This curves up. And I've cut that. It's going to fold. I can use the Dremel to get it, because that's not enough. I really need it kind of there to look more hoof-like. That's just a little too wide. We need to be in there. Very hoof-like. And I think that's going to somehow just attach, maybe glue to this, and be kind of this situation on the inside. And then this top edge, I'm going to use that, glue the fur to it, tie it, string it, attach it somehow to the rest of the stilt, and kind of something like that. To give you a visual here, this is the stilt. So this piece, it's going to clip on there over each bolt. And then this will be glued to that. Where I kind of just touch right the bottom. You see the pad, the way the pad curves? This is going to curve with that pad. And then the back will somehow clip on. Back is somehow clip on too. Haven't quite figured out the back. I don't know if I'm going to Velcro front and back just to make this easily removable. That may be the ticket. I may tie it. I don't know yet. First I need to kind of get all this stuff together. And it's one of those things where you can measure, but it's kind of tough. Like I'm going to just build it out and go from there. But first I am going to use a Dremel because this angle, even if you glue it, that's the angle it wants to be. I need to use a Dremel to make it a little bit more because I want it right in there. And I don't know if that means I need to glue a piece in there to get it to do what I want to do better. Yeah, I want it like right there. I'm gonna try dremeling it. Is it a cloven hoof? What's a cloven hoof? Is there a non-cloven hoof? I'm not a hoof master. Like I think that if I could get it that tight right in there, that's pretty good. I need it to both of them, so let's see what happens. And if it doesn't work, I may just glue another strip in there. I wonder if I could just glue it to itself. You know, if you just glued it together like that, that's actually a pretty good hoof. That might be the ticket. There's a lot of strain on this. I don't know if even though there's a lot of strain, I think if I really get the contact cement on there well, that should work. I kind of like that. Maybe glue it halfway down where it splays at the bottom. I don't know. Does the top of the hoof just come up? I don't know. I may need to look at some hoof pictures. Because if I could glue it to itself, I think that would be, well, kind of ideal. I guess I still need to have, I need to have this part on the wider side. So I think I can make all that work. That's a good thing about foam. It's very forgiving. You can kind of bend it, stretch it, fold it, all kinds of different ways. That's where we are. We're making great progress. Things are getting done. Yeah, it said I was going to finish the scythe today. That I was going to get all that, and now I'm just like, you know what? I could glue the handle, all the foam over the handle, but I don't really want to. I want to move to something new. That's how it's going to be the hooves. I thought I was going to do the lantern / hourglass. It's like, oh wait, I was starting the hooves the other day. Was that yesterday? Was that the day before? I don't even know anymore. All the days run together. The hooves are coming along. Look at that. I don't know if you can tell. I don't know if you can see the potential there, but it is there. And I don't know, I don't know what a real goat hoof looks like off the top of my head. Does the hoof, does it kind of like come together? Is it just, I don't know. It probably doesn't really matter for my costume. I probably could just bridge the fur right across, but if it does, I don't know, does it come together? Is there just kind of fill in? That's going to be the hoof. Paint it black, we got it. A little bit of fur on top. I need to figure out how the front and back fits together. I don't know, do I just Velcro the front and back? I don't know. Do I glue the back on? Because I could glue this thing on to the stilt just kind of permanently and then take it off later when I need to, or just whenever I wear these stilts, which is not very frequently. I want this glue to kind of dry fully and then kind of see how does it fit around the stilt. So somehow all of this goes on the stilt, this needs to glue to it. There's going to be a little bit of gap. I might need to put a little brace in there just, I don't know. I don't know if I need to put a brace in there. Actually, I probably don't. Will the sides glue? I think I could just glue the sides like that. Perfectly cromulent hoof. I just need to figure out the back. I've got some templates there, but I don't want to start cutting this out until I actually put that on there and see what it's like. But that's going to do most of it. I'm just going to tie up the back. I think for now, I want this glue to dry in here. I'm going to start on my lantern / hourglass. That thing's going to be awesome. And here's what I'm doing. I don't trust doing it fully out of foam. I feel like it needs a little bit of rigidity. So what I've done, I have some wood plates for the top and bottom. This thing's going to be 18 inches tall, Again, go big, go home. Steel rod, and I'm going to just do some nuts and thread the nuts at the top and bottom, and that's going to create my frame, and then I'll work around foam all of the surfaces. My hourglass parts are going to be some 2-liter soda bottles, sand. Got to go red sand. If you're going to do it, let's do it. The red is my theme, and I cut these with a grinder. I'm going to need to rethread the ends, probably file it and rethread. I might just file it. We'll see. But I may rethread the ends. But I'm going to create this frame. I don't know, do I go ahead and do the 2 liters? I probably need to do that soon. I might wait on that. Because I want foam on the bottom of this, so the top of the bottle, I'm going to have to cut the bottles, cuts into the foam and creates a seal. I'll probably do a little bit of hot glue too, because I don't want the sand getting out everywhere, because that'd be a mess. But I'm going to start on that, because that's, this lantern is might be my favorite thing. I like the scythe, that is awesome too. This lantern, it's a lantern / hourglass. I'm like, hey, I want a lantern, because you always see this representation of death with a lantern leading people to the underworld, but then you also see the Grim Reaper, the hourglass. Well, I need both, And if one hand's got a scythe in it, well, I only got one other hand, so I can't have two other objects. I need one, combine them. We got it. That's just smart thinking. So let me start putting this together and figuring out how I'm going to layer foam and my bottles and how I'm going to attach them too. I know they make a thing you can screw two balls into for like what, little tornado thing, like oil and water. I'm not going to buy that. But can I just glue them together? I mean, I think this whole apparatus would be holding them together. Probably, I don't know, maybe glue, maybe just hot glue. Probably fine. I got to make sure though to put sand in there before I put all this together. Because once I put it together, I don't intend to pull it apart. Because I want this to be really fancy, kind of like gothic type style. Like, I mean, not too fancy because this is my world where Grim Reaper. He's very simple, and he lives a simple life. But I want it decorative. I like kind of trim and stuff going on. I've got like a rope across the top, and I wasn't sure. I was thinking about this. Oh, you know, lantern rope. Well, what do you do when you turn over? Because that requires you to turn over. I'm like, okay, I'll just put a rope at both sides, like both ends. Perfect, great, that works out. Let me jump on this. I like to see things come together. Like these hooves, I'm liking that. Still don't quite know how all that's gonna come together. But this part, I can see it. Like I can see the potential here, and I like it. I love it. I want some more of it. I cut my threaded steel rod with a cutoff wheel. Well, that does kind of mess up the threads. I filed them down. 2 of my threaded rods, the nut would thread onto the end. After filing it down, 2 I didn't. So I had to rethread it, and these are 5/16 18 threaded rods. So I just rethread the ends. It's not, I mean, really you're just trying to clean up that last little thread because it can get a little torn up. And now the nut, it threads onto both ends of both of them. So I'm going to have 2 nuts on each end of the rods with the plate in there. So now I've rethreaded it, and it's time to start assembling this. And I got to remember, don't put the whole thing together because I got to put the actual hourglass in there. So I got to remember to do that. But I just want to start threading it, get kind of a feel for the size of this thing, what I need to do, what I'm going to do, all that good stuff. Good thing I got a lot of foam on hand because I'm going to be using a lot of foam. Alright, so we have the basis of my hourglass / lantern, the rope, hanging it like so. I love it. I love the size of this. I kind of mocked up a few different things and sketched up just to get an idea of what I thought it'd be. So the nice thing about these threads is, one, I can get this distance. It is completely perfect all the way around, and it gives us a nice, I mean, this thing is solid. It is very solid, which is what I need, because that foam is not solid enough. Like, you'd have to have either PVC, you know, a lot of times I use a PVC skeleton with this threaded rod. I knew I needed a base and a top that's going to be solid. So threaded rod, then I put nuts on there and get that perfect level is right on. Does it look straight? Some of these rods are a little bent. Not that it really matters. The foam will take care of some of that. And so I don't want to put this top on until I've kind of got everything in place, because I've got these bottles and I need to start figuring that out and figuring out exactly how I want to do that. I think it's going to be some hot glue. I don't really want the hot glue to show, so I may just cut a line in some foam, like a circle, where fill it with hot glue, then put the bottle in there to get a nice seal, because the sand, I want that staying inside my hourglass. Oh, I also need to think about lights, because I want lights around it. Originally I was thinking lights around the bottle, so I got this thing with hot glue. Do I space that out? Oh, I've got this wood here. Man, I got a lot of questions about how these lights are going to work with my wood base, with the bottle. I guess potentially I might do some lights maybe around the perimeter somehow. Well, I don't know. Because the thing is, whatever you build on top, well, you're going to see on the bottom, so these things are potentially visible. Do I just do some strips, just a angular strip around the perimeter? I need to see what I sketched. I know a sketch was around the bottle. That could prove to be a little tricky. Some of these rods are bent. But yeah, I'm always trying to reuse, reduce, recycle, something like that. So with my lantern / hourglass, I want kind of the base plate, the part the hourglass sits on. I want that beveled edge. You can see I cut those at 45. What is the key to getting these at 45? Brand new hobby blade. I mean, this blade that they come in like, these blades come in packs of 100. I've switched this out, gosh, probably half a dozen times just in what little I've done thus far. These things should be cutting through the foam like butter. You're going to know they're going to start to drag, and you can try to push it and keep cutting while it drags. It's going to chew up your cut a little bit, and you get to the point eventually where instead of cutting, it's just kind of ripping the foam, and you don't get good cuts. Like you can see, these are very nice cuts. They're very good, very angled, and you got to do a new blade. I'm hoping I can get through a few of these before, but angled cuts, these beveled cuts, they really need a fresh blade. Otherwise, it's just not going to work. I'm always trying to push my blade as far as I can, but sometimes you just got to bite the bullet and put a new fresh blade in, because it doesn't cut well. And for things like this hourglass, it's going to be very detailed that you're going to see them holding. You can't get away with bad cuts. And some of the stuff, like, you know, supporting stuff, like these pieces that are complete base pieces on the feet where things will be covering it, that, who cares if those cuts are rough? You're not going to see them. Something like this that you're going to see, that's important. Now we'll need to drill out 4 holes here because this, it'll be on the base plate, so it needs to go over the threaded rod. Now you could just kind of do a slice across to put it in there, but I don't want any slices I don't have to have. So I will just cut some holes in it, slide it down here, and everything I do on this, I have to cut 2 of everything. So this one goes on the bottom, I need to cut a second one that goes on top, and try to make sure that I line everything up correctly, because if the center's off, or, you know, my holes are off, it's going to start looking bad. I prefer it not look bad. I mean, that's kind of the goal, for it to look good. And I don't quite know, I mean, I got to cover up this wood somehow. This piece is wider than the wood, so I think I'm just going to do like something thin to create a little thickness around the perimeter. Like, just take, what is it? You know, these pieces snap in, maybe just take them, do it right on the edge, do it right on the edge like so. That gives it a little bit of thickness, and that way that can conceal that wood. That's my thought right now. I've got a plan. I sketched this in Google SketchUp, or was it Trimble SketchUp now? I don't know. Back when I had it, it was Google SketchUp. But that's really my kind of plan. Once you start cutting stuff, plan changes. I'm going to make notes about what I did. Like, this is an 8x8, and then I offset 1/4 inch in to cut the bevel to, and I try to get my bevel the same all the way around. You can see it changed a little bit, not enough to matter. Alright, I'm working on the base. You already saw this. I marked where I need to drill the holes for the threaded rods, and I'm probably going to take the nuts. Well, I guess it needs to be big enough for the nuts, so I need to factor that in. I just marked where the threaded rod was. I cut all my bevel pieces, and so I beveled each thing because I want these corners looking nice and sharp, and so I want each corner beveled, or I want each corner mitered, and I'm just going to glue it like that. This thickness will fit around the wood. The wood is about a 1/2 inch inset, all sides of this foam, so this will be perfect. Clear the wood, and then I can just go right under it. And I don't know, like, I guess the underside, I don't want to use like a full piece of foam, because it's wasting so much foam that way. I like to just kind of build these edges up, but I'll have to see structurally, like, how is that working? Is that working the way I want it to? But this will be good. This way, clear the wood. I got all 4 pieces. I'm gonna come out here and then go down again. I just want to build that base up, make it look a little fancier. Let's see what my notes look like. Yeah, I think just build out. I want to build like some corner trim, just a little bit of fancy stuff here. Basically, keep adding bits until it looks as fancy as I want it to be. You might see I'm wearing the scorpion costume because, you know what, I really like this costume. I thought it came out really well. This was like the cloak, the undershirt. The only thing I didn't like is I put a snap button in there, and it really needed to come over further, about right here. Just, I think there's something on my neck. I don't remember. You don't see much of the red. This was, or used to be, glued across. Of course, that glue has given up the ghost. But I mean, I like these shoulder pads. They are moving around a little bit too much for me. Like this, I threaded this rope to do that. Like, I just love this whole design, this whole shirt. It's 3/4 sleeves just because Scorpion has gauntlets, so it didn't really matter. And I added this little diamond stitching pattern. I thought it needed something and it looked kind of cool, even though in the real costume there's there's kind of like shoulder things that were separate. Got the, I can't remember what this is called, but I liked everything about this costume. It was very good. I like the red. I did the red at the sides. I did the red at the neck. I just thought it looked really nice. Kind of carried over the red because the belt had these red towel leather looking things. Cool costume. Really like it. I almost feel like I should go to cons or find cons. Just have a chance to wear these things. Like, this thing is so cool. The Scorpion thing is so cool. Only worn it one time for Halloween. Well, I guess I went to a couple different Halloween things, but still, it was very cool. Man, is it my favorite? Probably my favorite recent costume. I'm trying to think, Inca Trump. Like the Ghost. When I think of like favorite costumes, like the Ghostbusters always ranks up there, just because kid me would have loved to know that, hey, one day you're gonna build a screen accurate Ghostbusters costume with proton pack, with a ghost trap. That was awesome. What else stands out? What was it? Angor Rot from Troll Hunters. I didn't finish it. You know, it's kind of got a fleece skin. I wanted to do kind of a rubberized skin. I just didn't get to it. But that was cool because that's the first time I built this, like, just really big. I think I was 8 feet tall. It was huge. And that was a lot of fun. And learned a lot of things on that costume. Muscle suit, that was wild. What else? You know that my Templar Knight from Assassin's Creed, inspired by that, like that chainmail, that's the first costume I did that was like legit. Like, I'm really
making legit costumes. But I do like the Scorpion one. And sometimes, you know, like, I'm building costumes. Sometimes just, like, you got dressed for the job, you know? My job is building this costume, so I can't get dressed for it. And, you know, you got to get in that creative mindset. Here I am. You know, you got to dress to impress. That's what I'm doing.